Okay, let's give this case a real test to see if it protects my gear. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. Hello, and welcome to another episode of AA3K on the Go. I'm Mark, AA3K, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about protecting your gear while you're traveling. So about a year ago, I purchased an ICOM 7300, and not that expensive a radio, but not that cheap either, and I decided I wanted to protect it a lot better than I was currently protecting my ICOM 706. That I was using for parks on the air and other portable operations. So I went to everybody's favorite low-cost hardware store and picked up one of the 4800 Apache cases. The original sticker came off. I've added a few additional stickers to it, and including our favorite activity, parks on the air. But I want to show you a little bit about how you can set it up to protect your equipment in it, and how you can make sure the pick and pluck foam will last the life of the case at the very least. If you don't do something to protect the phone, 5 or 10 uses, the foam is going to start tearing apart on its own. So let's go into details on how I packed this case and have it set up for travel. Okay, here we have the Harbor Freight Apache 4800 case. They do make larger sizes, a larger size with wheels. A case really designed for rifles, smaller cases, and a very small case also. I have the very small case, and I've actually had it for 2 or 3 years now, and I have yet to find something that I own that needs the protection that will fit in it. These cases are equipped with a vent valve right here. So if you do take them on an aircraft and they do have air leak out of them, when you bring them back down to sea level and you open them, you can vent the case, get its internals back down to sea level, and be able to open the case. Otherwise, you're going to need to get a screwdriver or something, pry it up, and probably ruin the seal in the process. 4 very nice sturdy locking clamps. Places that you can put locks on it if you so desire. And in it, I have my 7300 and basically all the accessories I need to operate it except for power supply and antenna. How you lay out the case is up to you. I've seen pictures of people who basically only have the 7300 in the case, have it in the center, have it sideways, have other spots in the foam cut out and next to or in back of the radio to store stuff. I decided to go with this direction towards the left side of the case here and open up a nice square section to carry my accessories, such as the power cord, USB cable, headset mic, a finger-operated push-to-talk, the original microphone, which I have not used yet, an extra adapter, and a nifty manual to quickly look up things on on how the radio operates. Radio is basically straightforward. Unfortunately, I do not use it every single day, so I tend to forget some of the common operations on it, or want to do something new with it and have to refer to the manual. I chose a pretty tight fit in here, and I usually end up, when I take it out of the box, I end up taking out the top layer of foam. There's 2 layers of foam here with the pick and pluck. They are not attached to each other, so you can just pull it out, dump it off like that, put it back later. But unfortunately, the pick and pluck, unless you do something to tie it all together, will tend to separate on its own and basically become a mess, I've heard, within 5 to 10 uses. So a fast way to fix this, or to fixate the foam blocks, is to use Plastidip or similar spray rubber. Okay, here we are out in the backyard in mid-Atlantic near Philadelphia. Gray, overcast, 28 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 2 degrees Celsius. But we should be able to get this spraying done. Follow the directions on the Plastidip can. It's the best thing I can say. They recommend shaking, 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 shaking some more. I did clear out the nozzle previously on this thing, so I'm going to do a spray off to the side just to get the carrier propellant cleared out of the tube and the nozzle before it actually starts spraying the juice. As you can hear, this can is pretty empty. I've used at least 2/3 of it on finishing this hole, spraying all the foam, except for the very top and bottom pieces of the case. The top one tends to fall out. Yeah, I could add some double stick tape to hold it in place, but it doesn't really bother me significantly. And more important, that's just egg crate foam. I just want to protect the pick and pluck foam as much as possible. So, good, not a super protective cap to come off. Get ready to aim, and let's get the camera on target here. So, I am going to be aiming at spraying that area in the upper left part of the big section. And I'm just going to spray it, get a nice old black, let it soak in and sit for maybe 15-20 minutes, do it again. Again, it's quite cold out here, but I did check the can and there was no low temperature warnings on the can. So here goes. And Steve, this information is for you. So there, first coat is on. I'm just going to let it sit for a bit. Hopefully the foam won't blow away. It isn't too breezy. As with any spray paint outdoors, watch for breeze carrying the spray someplace where you don't want it to go. Back in a little bit for the second coat. Okay, ready for coat 2. A little breezy out here. I had to throw some logs, fireplace logs, on this craft paper to keep it from blowing away and taking the foam with it. Give it a good shake. Okay, I went a little bit extra there, but we're going to let it now sit for another 15 or so minutes. We'll get a third coat on it, and then a fourth coat. Okay, let's get the third coat on. Give the can another good shake. I've been waiting inside where it's a tiny bit warmer and bringing the can in with me so I don't over chill the can. I don't know how that would affect the spray. Get it a little bit on the wet side. I think I may have slightly overdone it there. Let it soak in, dry, give it another 10 minutes, and we'll get a fourth coat on it. 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. Not sure how fast it is drying in this very chilly weather. On the flip side, though, the humidity is not that high. So hopefully whatever the carrying agent is and such, it'll evaporate quickly. You really don't want to do the spraying in the house. This is can be pretty potent in its smell. If you are lucky enough to have a fume hood or spray booth, you could do it there, but otherwise I do recommend doing it outside. Okay, going to do my fourth coat now. Let it sit for another 15-20 minutes before I bring it in the house and let it fully dry in a little warmer conditions, probably down my basement. And then tomorrow we can repack everything up. And that's it. And that's how you spray the pick and pluck foam with Plastidip. Let it dry. It'll hold everything together and keep the foam from self-destructing. Some of the other videos I found on YouTube, people said they did this and they've been using the case and the foam almost daily for years, particularly for work applications. I have been using the Harbor Freight Apache hard-sided case. basically equivalent to the Pelican and the other name brand cases, for about a year now. And I've had it on 25, 30 separate trips, lugged it in the trunk of a car down to North Carolina and back to the Philadelphia area, dropped it on a number of tables. My initial drop test, I do admit, I didn't want to chance fate, so I did take the radio and all the accessories out of the case and just closed her up. As long as you don't try to purposely drive over it with your vehicle, heave it out of an aircraft at 30,000 feet, purposely try to destroy it, is definitely going to protect your radios and your other valuables from the bumps of travel and such. I travel quite a bit for work. Many times while standing at the baggage carousel, I'll see a similar style case come through, and I know from having done it myself, there's usually a whole bunch of tools or various electronic equipment in there. I've used actual Pelican cases with equipment, and there's very little difference between this case and the Pelican. So, it is a cheap investment to protect your radio, be it a couple of $100 radio, be it $1,000 radio, be it a $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 radio. It's a great way to protect your valuables if you're going to be traveling with them. The pick and pluck foam, the Plastidip, is only a few dollars at most big box and even smaller hardware stores. And as long as the weather isn't 28 degrees as it currently is, it's not a hard job to spray it, let it sit for 15 or so minutes, spray it again, get 4 or 5 coats of it on, and you can go crazy if you want. There's lots of videos on protecting pick and pluck foam using Plastidip and the spray rubber coatings. What more can I say? Do you want it in black, forest green, blaze orange, yellow? You have your choice of colors, at least at Harbor Freight. Hey, thank you. Catch you next time on AA3K on the go. And if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I try to give educational videos for operating amateur radio in the field. See you next time.